Good evening, Belize. It's Friday and this is News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly. Tonight, Belize's volleyball champions come home to history. After winning the country's first ever Central American senior men's title, the national team takes a victory lap through Belize City, greeted by fans, families, and the next generation dreaming of gold. Also tonight, the Ministry of Defense spending scandal widens. Leaked documents reviewed by News 5 now connect Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie to a company paid more than $85,000 by the ministry. The questions over who benefited are growing louder. And BEL under pressure. The utility says it held the line on electricity rates to protect consumers, but now reports more than $23 million in losses. So what does that mean for customers? Plus, tensions inside the Belize Police Department. Several assistant superintendents passed the promotional board, but letters signed by the commissioner say they will not move up. Tonight, officers are asking whether the process is fair. And World Cup fever across Belize. Argentina and Spain are heading to the final, and Belizean fans are choosing sides like everything is on the line. These stories and more in just 60 seconds. Stay with us. News 5 starts now.
The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Greater Belize Media. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Greater Belize Media.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Welcome back. Belize's volleyball heroes are back home, and the celebration has not stopped since that final point in Costa Rica. After capturing the country's first ever Central American Senior Men's Volleyball Championship, the national team returned to an emotional welcome, met with young athletes dreaming of following in their footsteps, and took a victory lap through the streets of Belize City. It is a historic win decades in the making, and tonight, the team is soaking in every moment of it. Shane Williams reports.
A jugar Solano, a levantar la pelota, entrega el balón arriba, Belice, 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 Belice.
From the moment the ball hit the net, history belonged to Belize. The national men's volleyball team climbed to the top of Central America, defeating host country Costa Rica to win the first men's senior regional title in Belize's history. But the celebration didn't stay in Costa Rica. More than 2 hours after their scheduled arrival last night, the team was welcomed home by family, friends, and supporters who waited in front of the Belize Elementary School gym, refusing to let the delay dampen the moment. Today, the appreciation came from the sport's future with a lunch hosted by the EA Volleyball Academy at SJC Gym. Captain Elton Anderson fought tears standing before the young athletes he has helped mentor through his developmental program. Seeing several academy graduates now wearing Belize's national colors made the championship even more meaningful.
This is a historic moment. This is not only about us, this is about the entire country. All the other discipline we would like them to come out to support, because maybe the next gold medal might come from another discipline, and the more we support each other, the more successful we will become as a country.
One of Anderson's proteges is tournament MVP Francis Hawes, who he took under his wing at just 15 years old. Hawes reflected on the welcome home the team experienced.
Every year we go, we look at the first place team and say we want to hear a national anthem being sung, and just to be proud, and this year we finally did it. So it's a really great feeling.
Ernest Brewster Jr. is a legacy player on the men's national team. He helped to finally capture the prize his father and others has spent decades chasing.
This is an amazing feeling, not just for me, but for my family as well. Just like you said, second generation, you know. Everybody knows I'm carrying a legacy on my back. It's not just a name, it's not just a number. It's more than that, you know, it's the reason I play.
And the welcome home on Thursday night certainly reminded this young volleyball professional player of all those reasons.
The amount of people that was there waiting for us is very nice. It was very surprising and very heartwarming, welcoming. I loved it. Everybody was there, big smiling, we heard the music. First place!
The celebration kept rolling today as a motorcade carried Belize's volleyball champions through the streets of Belize City. Fans waved flags, honked horns, and cheered the team that delivered Belize's first Central American men's volleyball title. After last year's heartbreak, they returned as champions, celebrating with family, young athletes, and an entire nation. Now the team says the goal is to make this historic feeling last.
It's just an inspiration for all the younger kids to be able to play at a higher level. We have a talented team and the future is looking bright. They have guys playing all levels.
Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
The questions surrounding the Ministry of Defense's spending are getting harder to dismiss. Leaked documents reviewed by News 5 now link Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie to a company that received more than $85,000 from the ministry. The records show the same under $10,000 invoices that have appeared in other questionable payments, along with 7 identical payouts made on the same day and a pending payment of nearly $50,000. Officials deny any contract staring. But as more politically connected suppliers emerge, so do concerns about who really benefited from the ministry's procurement practices. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Cabinet Secretary Stuart Leslie has joined the names of government officials identified in the ongoing Ministry of Defense procurement scandal. News 5 has confirmed that Leslie is the director of RSL Group Limited, a company that has received just over $85,000 in payments from the Ministry of Defense between May and June of 2026. And according to the leaked invoices, the same under $10,000 invoice pattern persists with these payments. The leaked documents also reveal a pending payment for just over $49,000, as well as 7 identical payments of $6,941 paid out on June 4th. So what did RSL provide for the BDF? According to a sales order leaked to News 5, the company provided a variety of seasonings. We reached out to CabSec Stuart Leslie, who confirmed his partnership with the company. Leslie contends that as director, he is not involved in the day-to-day running of the business. He denies calling the Ministry of Defense to facilitate any agreement, further noting that the business went through the legitimate bidding process and was initially denied until the ministry called back and requested its service. Leslie says the company is legitimate and owned by a family he knows very well. And while Leslie has distanced himself from RSL Group Limited's dealings with the Ministry of Defense, his name is now added to a list of government officials who have denied involvement in similar ministry dealings with companies owned by their relatives or constituents. The list is growing. Prime Minister John Briceño said this about Javier Briceño and Adiku.
Just like how I did not know what the Mura family did and what Lorenzo, the Island, they were doing, I do not know.
Florencio Marin Jr. is on administrative leave from his post as Minister of Defense. Just days before his leave, he made these remarks.
I would be prepared to speak, but please let's have the audit finished first. All right, right now it is ongoing.
Oscar Mira, a former Minister of Defense, also denied involvement in several of his siblings being awarded ministry supply contracts.
I am confident, that I didn't involve anything, from me, that I did not, I wasn't the one,
Minister of State Ramon Montes Cervantes took a similar position when questioned about his familial ties to the proprietors of J&J Imports and the company's ministry supply contracts.
Were you instrumental in them receiving any contracts with the Ministry of Defense?
No, not at all, not at all. I have nothing to do with it.
So you had no involvement in them getting the supply arrangement? They're the owners of J&J Imports?
No, I had no involvement in that anywhere at all.
And Ministry of Defense Chief Executive Officer had a similar response when asked about Meatmaster's supply contract. Meatmaster is owned by his wife's cousin.
My first thought was, wow, if people thought that I was involved in the evaluation process, this could look bad. But at the end of the day, and the evaluation committee can confirm this, they went through the process like everyone else.
Everyone questioned so far has denied any hand in the Ministry of Defense procurement scandal. But the SmartStream leaks reveal a pattern that is hard to ignore. 8 of the companies and individuals named in the documents are from northern Belize, and 6 are based in Orange Walk Town, the same municipality where the Prime Minister's constituency is located. RSL Group Limited, Javier Briceño and Adiku, Meatmaster, J&J Imports, and Enrique Javier Kenya all list Orange Walk addresses. 2 others, A&Y Fresh Vegetables and Kukulkan Company Limited, are located in Florencio Marin's Corozal Northeast constituency. So tonight, the question is not only who got paid, but why so many of those payments appear to point north. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
In the wake of the Mira Millions controversy, government is now promising tighter controls over how public money is spent. Public Utilities Minister Michelle Shabat says the allegations are serious and must be met with a serious investigation because public funds demand public accountability. The proposed response includes mandatory procurement training for senior officials and a review of Belize's procurement laws. Shabat says the goal is to strengthen checks and balances across the system. But with municipal elections fast approaching, the question tonight is whether this controversy could follow the government all the way to the polls.
The allegations being raised are very serious allegations, and they must be treated very seriously. Public funds do require public accounting. There's no way of getting around that. And I think Cabinet and Prime Minister understands that, and I think we've now taken the necessary steps to make sure that this happens. So I have every faith in the process that we've undertaken, and I am sure that the Belizean people will see that and will understand the work that we have been trying to put in place. And let me tell you this, I don't think what is happening can define the work that this government has done. We have done tremendous work in terms of education, in terms of housing, in terms of healthcare. And so you need to look at the whole picture to tell the story of this government. And as I said before, these are serious allegations and they require a serious investigation.
Do you consider that the threshold for payments, not procurement, because the government can purchase in whatever amount it wants, it's just the accountability and transparency aspect, that it should be increased above 10,000?
I think what you need to have are checks and balances, because at 10,000 or at 100,000 there can be abuses, and so what needs to be put in place are checks and balances.
Earlier this month, Prime Minister Briceño announced that Cabinet is working to establish a central procurement unit developed in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank. BEL says it tried to shield customers from higher electricity rates during some of the toughest years for Belizean households. But now, the company says that decision has come at a heavy price. The utility reported a net loss of more than $23 million in 2025. And Executive Chairman Lin Young says much of that pressure came from rising fuel and power costs during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Young says BEL held off on asking for rate increases while the economy recovered. But global disruptions and higher energy prices left the company with as much as $65 million in unrecovered costs. Here's more on that.
During and just after COVID, there was high inflationary pressures, and the BEL's cost was significantly higher than expected. And BEL wasn't the only company. I think, everybody was complaining about the inflation caused by the war in Ukraine and other issues, right? But BEL at that time, I wasn't in this position at that time, but BEL at that time discussed with the PUC and the government and decided not to apply for adjustment in rates. They decided to try to keep the rates consistent because the country was recovering from COVID. And the expectation was that after things settled down, the oil prices would fall back and they would be able to recover. But as it turns out, other incidents happened. We had the Venezuela situation, we had the tariff situation up north, and then we have the war in the Middle East. So by this time, the company had spent about $60 million. I think the PUC in its initial decision says about $65 million that the company spent that it hadn't collected back in the rates because of the excess cost from fuel prices and tariffs and all the things that were happening internationally. So the company reached the point where it had to ask for rate adjustments and to try to see if it can start collecting back these monies that it had voluntarily agreed not to try, just because it was trying not to have to increase the rates.
Young says global shocks, rising fuel costs, and problems with Mexico's CFE continue to squeeze BEL's finances. And BEL is under pressure financially and legally. The company is dealing with millions of dollars in losses while also fighting severance claims brought by former employees. But Public Utilities Minister Michelle Chabot says Belizeans should not count the utility out. Today, he defended BEL's long-term future, stressing that the company remains critical to the country's development and day-to-day life. Chabot says the severance matter must now play out in court.
It's not a loss. It's never a loss when you invest in BL. Remember that BL has to keep the lights on. And listen, I don't know Bono, but when my light go after my house, I get mad, right? I get mad. We need to keep the lights on. BL is one of our fundamental institution that requires our support. And yes, they're going through some challenges right now, but I have no doubt that in a few years, the returns we have not gotten now, we're going to be getting down the road and perhaps double. So I have every faith in BL.
What about the fact that as a utility, they're facing this claim and demand from former employees that they should be paid severance, and that's another pressure on their low income?
You know, it's a good thing we have a high court in Belize to determine these issues and whether they are justifiable or not. That's why the court is there, right? I don't want to cast any judgment on it. I think the former workers have an interest and they have a claim. And so what needs to happen is that needs to be determined judicially.
Chabot says he will follow up, but adds that if the court decides former BEL employees are owed anything, those rights must be respected. Up next, a senior post at the Ministry of Transport, a police corporal in line for the job, and growing questions about who gets picked and why. Is it merit or connections? We'll have that story next.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Call unto me, and I will answer thee, and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not." I heard the story of a man in Topeka, Kansas, who decided to write a book about churches around the country. As he entered his first large church in San Francisco, he spotted a golden telephone on the vestibule wall and a sign which read $10,000 a minute. He asked the pastor about the phone and the sign. The pastor answered that the golden phone was a direct line to heaven, and if he could pay the price, he could talk directly to God. The man thanked the pastor and continued on his way. As he continued, he found the same golden telephone and sign in churches in Seattle and Boston and Chicago, and every church he went into. Finally, he wound up in Belize, Central America. And would you believe it? He found the same golden telephone, except with a sign that read, "Calls 35 cents." Fascinated, he said to the Belizean pastor, "Reverend, I have been through the United States and found this golden phone with a direct line to heaven that costs $10,000 a minute. But here in Belize, your sign reads 35 cents a call." Why, the smiling Belizean pastor said, "Son, you're in Belize now, and heaven is a local call down here." Obviously, I have adapted my story, but the message is the same. God's throne is available to all, free of charge, who will seek him. This is why the Bible says, "Call unto me, and I will answer thee." Have you called home lately? Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Key Calker Lobster Fest weekend is here. The crowd is ready, the boats are ready, and the energy starts now. Next up, Key Calker. Food, music, crowds, island vibes. Ride with San Pedro Belize Express Water Taxi for a smooth, reliable trip straight into the heart of Lobster Fest. Book ahead with the app, skip the check-in line, and get to Lobster Fest faster. San Pedro Belize Express Water Taxi, your official ride to Key Calker Lobster Fest.
Discover the full Danone collection now in Belize. From creamy Greek oikos to smooth natural yogurts, fruity blends, Danonino favorites, and fun mix-ins like Oreo and M&M's, there's a flavor for every taste. Freshness, quality, and variety all in one aisle at your nearest supermarket countrywide. Danone is exclusively distributed by Racino's Imports Limited.
Rev up your engines at Puma Energy and get ready for an exciting chance to fuel, fill, and win. For every $30 purchase on fuel, a liter of lubricant, or $10 at Super 7, get a ticket to win one of 20 fuel prizes of $1,000. And here's the thrill. Fill up with premium Clean Tech Pro and double your chances of winning. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Head to Puma Energy and Super 7 today for your chance to fuel, fill, and win.
Open your eyes, family. We the head west. Yes, San Ignacio, we the come. The Open Your Eyes Country Tour is rolling into the San Ignacio Welcome Center. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. From the rich culture and delicious food to the incredible people and lively vibes, we bring the best of the West straight to your screen. Monday, July 27, starting at 6:30 a.m. live on Greater Belize Media. Open your eyes to beautiful San Ignacio.
Checks are reportedly beginning to surface within the Belize Police Department following the circulation of form letters signed by Commissioner of Police Dr. Richard Rosado informing several assistant superintendents of police that, despite successfully passing the promotional board, they will not be recommended for promotion to the rank of superintendent. The letters acknowledged that the officers met the required standard and demonstrated the competence, knowledge, and professionalism expected of senior leadership. Yet, in the same breath, they advise that only a select group will move forward, citing limited vacancies and departments' ongoing organizational transition. Online in the letter is now fueling much of the controversy. Officers were informed that Assistant Superintendent Stacy Smith is being recommended for promotion because she is reportedly performing duties above her substantive rank and delivered a stronger overall performance during the assessment process. The letter further notes that if Smith's recommendation is approved by the Security Services Commission, the decision will result in the supersession of the officer receiving the correspondence. The development has fueled concerns among some members of the department who question the criteria being applied and whether the process is being administered consistently. Sources point out that Smith herself was promoted to the rank of inspector in June 2022 and is now poised for another promotion just 4 years later, a pace some officers reportedly view as unusually rapid. While the commissioner has made his recommendations, the final decision rests with the Security Services Commission, which has the authority to approve, reject, or amend those recommendations. The letters have caused unease within the department, with officers now questioning how fair and transparent the promotion process really is. Who gets a shot at senior government posts, and how are those decisions made? That question is now being asked inside the Ministry of Transport, where Police Corporal John Gamboa has been recommended for a vacant senior position. Senior Transport CEO Chester Williams signed the letter supporting Gamboa's release to pursue the job, but allegations of family connections have quickly turned the matter into a nepotism controversy. Tonight, Gamboa's father, Superintendent Aaron Gamboa, is rejecting claims that his son is being pushed ahead because of who he knows.
First of all, John went through the recruit training. John have a degree. He have an associate in English and have a bachelor's degree, right? John is a recruit baton of honor. John beat 3 or 4 officers cadets. He's coming first in a theory and not about practical. Okay, he got up. So my view is John the bias or John that God the best job is because of his a lot of training, he got a military training also, right? I can tell everything to black and white. But I just believe that if John apply, he gone through the interview, he gone through the process, everything. And I think he make it. I think he make about 96, and after that, I believe that he qualify, and God bless her with whatever. We believe that the door open for him.
What about the familial tie between Mr. Williams and his family, and the perception that he's getting promoted and getting this opportunity because the families are connected?
No, Paul, not doing collection, Paul. Like I say again, Paul, if this be collected, then job be maybe ASP or inspector, Paul, because like I say again, when Chester was there, when Chester was there, the commissioner, Chester gave this man no rank or nothing. This man, even though whatever the last time they said, Chester gave this man no kind of rank or nothing. None. I say again, Paul, just my son get promoted under Dr. Richard Rosado because he take his carpal exam and he passed it.
Transport CEO Chester Williams is rejecting allegations that he helped Police Corporal John Gamboa secure a senior post inside the Ministry of Transport. Williams told News 5 today that Gamboa is qualified for the position but insists he he played no role in the application or hiring process. He says that responsibility rests with Chief Transport Officer Leon Gentle, who oversaw the interviews and selection process. Gentle also responded to the controversy as questions continue over whether the recommendation was based on merit or connections.
Mr. Gamboa, from my knowledge, is a very educated person. He's a go-getter. He holds a bachelor's degree in English. He also has an associate in English. He is currently a corporal in the Belize Police Department and an instructor at the academy here. He has also done extensive training with the military, so he's also a PTI and a certified PTI and other training courses. Again, I'm not going to delve too much into the application process. That's for CTO to discuss because he is the one who sits on panel. I know we have a number of vacancies, and my instructions to the AO was ensure that we publish the vacancies for people to apply. The vacancies were published and applicants applied. I instructed the CTO and the AO to put together an interview panel to interview every applicant. They did that, and I now yield to him to explain that process.
But at any point, did you have anything to do with him working for the ministry?
No. Like I said, Mr. Gentle is going to explain that process.
All members of the department were given an opportunity to apply for the different positions that we are looking for. We had open interviews for transport officers in the different districts. We had also open positions for Assistant Chief Transport Officer, which would be a regional commander for our department in looking at different zones to carry out the functions, to make sure that they carry out their functions under the department's mandate. And Mr. John Gamboa was one of those applicants who applied for the Assistant Chief Transport Officer position. There were 2 applicants, and we have looked through the application, gone through the full interview process, and we believe that he's one of those persons who are fit for the position.
The Ministry of Transport is waiting for a response from the Ministry of Public Service. The Ministry of Transport is already facing questions over one police officer trying to move into a senior post. Now attention is turning to another former police officer already inside the ministry. Dervin Sambula, a former assistant superintendent, now serves as legal counsel and was a familiar face during negotiations with the Belize Bus Association earlier this year. Today, CEO Chester Williams was asked whether Sambula was his preferred choice for the job. Williams says he had no hand in selecting him.
Of course, Mr. Sambula comes with a wealth of knowledge and experience. Having served in the police department for many years, rose to the rank of assistant superintendent. He was legal advisor at the police department as well. And his years of experience as police and his legal training is something that really and truly complements us at the ministry and certainly the Department of Transport. We are grateful to have him as a part of our staff. He is very much active out there with the officers. He's not a person who stays in office. He's out there making sure that he provides legal guidance to the officers as they perform their duties.
And is there any specific reason why he was chosen?
He applied, and let me make it clear, I did not choose him. Mr. Sambula was chosen by the Judicial and Legal Services Commission. As you would know, he's a legal officer. It's not the CEO who decides who is a legal officer in any ministry. That goes to the Judicial and Legal Services Commission after having applied, and they decide if they're hiring a person and where to put that person.
And we see that recently your brother has been made a licensing officer at headquarters. Would you be able to comment on that?
That was done long ago. He's well qualified and he applied for the post, and he is not a license, he's a registering clerk. Registering and licensing clerk. A very low pay scale job. He's not.
Williams says Sambula has been performing exceptionally well in his role as legal counsel to the ministry. Still ahead, 2 interdicted police officers, a high-profile trial, and a verdict reached in under 2 hours. Tonight, Corporal Jason Shaw and Constable Leslie Martinez have been found guilty of willful oppression. We'll have the details next.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
The next station is not just a place. It's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
When the power goes out, life is disrupted. Be prepared and keep your home powered up with a generator from Benquip. We carry brands such as Honda, Kohler, and JCB. Schedule your installation, maintenance, and assessment to keep your generator ready and waiting to protect your family and home the next time the power fails. Stay in control of your power with a generator from Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
Are you enjoying the incredible voices of KTV The Remix Season 8? Well, don't forget, the power is in your hands. This week, each remaining contestant has been assigned a new voting number. To vote for your favorite KTV contestant, simply text the number of votes, followed by a space, then your contestant's assigned voting number, and send it to 585. And remember, you can also send credit directly to your favorite contestant's assigned smartphone number. Here are this week's remaining contestants and their new voting numbers.
Hello, me too young for lockdown with nobody. I pray one day somebody keep your company.
Shawty, you're my angel, you're my darling angel. Girl, you're my friend when I'm in need. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wild up yourself, oh. And then she bubble and she bubble and she bubble and whine.
Armonía de amor, cara bonita es mi inspiración. Abrázame a tu corazón y no me dejes.
What you want, as long as you're with me. Say what you want, as long as I hear you calling my name over and over again. Pack up your things and leave, don't come back.
Family and help me earn me daily meal. Them don't know how it feel when you a cry.
When you're ready for the bump and grind, it's only you. I had my trials when my pillows dried my eyes. Then the morning came and my wings.
Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go.
Who will make it through to next week? Your vote can keep your KTV star on the stage. Vote before Sunday at midnight. Join us at The Bliss every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for KTV The Remix Season 8.
He skipped nights out, said maybe next time too often. Ramen became a lifestyle, all for this moment, his first car. Protect what you've worked for with RF&G Motor Insurance.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarterfinal winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Defense attorney Leroy Banner called it a case built on police, porn, and public pressure. But by early this afternoon, the jury had settled on another word: guilty. After less than 2 hours of deliberation, a 9-member jury unanimously convicted interdicted police officers, Corporal Jason Shaw and Police Constable Leslie Martinez, of willful oppression. The officers were accused of recording a couple during an intimate encounter inside an abandoned building on April 5, 2020, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, and then sharing that video in a police WhatsApp group known as Loyal Group. What may have started as a private moment quickly became a public scandal. The video spread beyond the chat group, went viral, and left the couple humiliated. That recording and the decision to circulate it eventually led to the officers' arrest and criminal charges. The jurors, 5 women and 4 men, entered the deliberation room at 11:30 this morning, and by 1:27 this afternoon, they returned with a unanimous verdict. All 9 agreed that Shaw and Martinez, as public officers, abused their authority when they recorded and shared the video. In the end, the jury found that the officers' actions were not just inappropriate or embarrassing. They amounted to willful oppression, causing real injury to the couple whose private moment was exposed to the public. The collapse of the cybercrime case against Alberto August may now lead to changes in Belize's Cybercrime Act. Attorney General Anthony Sylvester says government is reviewing specific sections of the law to make sure it cannot be used to criminalize defamation. The case, triggered by a complaint from former police minister Oscar Mira over a Facebook post, stirred national debate about free speech, online criticism, and the reach of cybercrime laws. Sylvester says cyberbullying and cybercrime still need regulation, but the law must be clear about what belongs in criminal court.
It's not the entire act which is subject to review. There are only specific provisions, because one has to be caution has to be said here, because cybercrime legislation is necessary. It's important and necessary to regulate the conduct of persons on social media and in other and any other fora where bullying takes place. So cyberbullying is real. The concern that, and it's a valid concern that was raised by the public, and was that whether certain provisions might be on the, so certain provisions might be such that it actually addresses, as somebody, as one of my colleagues had referred to it as criminalizing defamation, and so in that respect, the concern was to look at those provisions that may be regarded or possibly can be regarded as criminalizing defamation, and ensuring that it in fact doesn't do that, because whilst we appreciate and we accept that cyberbullying is something real and something that has harmful effects on members of the society and people at large, and it's important that the state regulate that. We at the same time don't want to have a situation where you have on our law books provisions that are more, as I indicated, in the realm of possible criminalizing of defamation. And so those are things that are under review, and we're hopeful that we may be able to have an amendment at the next House meeting.
Sylvester also stated that Attorney General's ministry did not advise authorities on the cybercrime charge against Alberta August, as criminal prosecutions are outside its role. The debate over 2 possible foreign judges for Belize's High Court is heating up. The Association of Defense Attorneys says qualified Belizeans were overlooked, including experienced attorneys, magistrates, and senior judicial officers. The group also says no Belizean currently sits in the High Court's criminal division and is calling for the JLSC to be reconstituted. Attorney General Anthony Sylvester Jr. says the process is still ongoing and no final appointments have been made.
There has not been any formal appointment of any judges. So as part of the process, the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, they engage in their process. They're a separate body, separate from government, separate from any other entity. So they're the ones that does the reviewing of applications, reviewing of CVs, interviews, etc. They would make a recommendation with respect to whether who are the successful applicants. Once that recommendation is received, that recommendation is onward, is submitted to the Office of the Prime Minister. The Office of the Prime Minister would submit to the Leader of the Opposition to request, in this particular case, the Honorable Chelsea Panton, her views on the matter. As things currently stand, she has written to the government and she is requesting certain information. So the process is still ongoing and no final determination has been made on that matter as yet.
So when it comes to Shenizia Smith, I believe was the name that was called, it's not official as yet?
No official decision has been made. I'm not quite sure how that information came about, and as somebody had pointed out, I think the Leader of Opposition herself had expressed consternation, surprise that when perhaps maybe she wasn't consulted. But no decision has been made because the process is still ongoing with respect to, at this point in time, the Leader of the Opposition being engaged and being consulted.
How long will that process take to complete, more or less?
That process continues. Obviously, consultation requires reasonable opportunity for, and this is what jurisprudence on this area suggests, that a reasonable opportunity for the opposition to receive our feedback.
He emphasized that the Judicial and Legal Services Commission independently reviews applications and makes recommendations, after which the views of the Leader of the Opposition must be sought before any appointments can be finalized. Belize's legal aid system could be heading into a serious crunch. The Association of Defense Attorneys says that starting August 1st, its members will stop accepting new legal aid cases under the current fee structure. The association says the fees are too low and no longer reflect the time, skill, and responsibility required to defend accused persons in court. That matters because the group says its members handle about 95% of all court-assigned legal aid cases. They insist they are not trying to cripple the justice system, but they want government to keep a commitment made more than a year ago to increase the stipend. Existing cases will continue, but the association is calling for an urgent review of the fee structure, saying access to justice depends on a legal aid system that is properly funded and fair to the attorneys who keep it running. A grieving daughter's social media post has opened a wider conversation about compassion, communication, and the rules governing death benefits at the Belize National Teachers Union. Odalisa Alonso says her mother, retired veteran educator Eda Carballo, gave 25 years of contributions to the BNTU, but was denied benefits after falling behind on dues while battling illness in retirement. BNTU President Nadia Kaliz says the union's constitution is clear that members must be current to qualify. But she also admits that the case shows why reforms may be needed to better protect retired teachers.
Constitutionally, that is how the BNTU is set up. I don't have the legal authority to go and give you any benefit, any at all. So when the branch members made it clear that they communicated with you, and they too now have produced screenshots of those conversations, I am not going to put it out there in the public domain because we're not at war with each other. I just want you to know that I'm very happy that you did what you did, because it sheds light on what, as the current leader of the BNTU, under my leadership, what I am trying to change. We have multiple situations of this nature. Our retired members have contributed to this organization, and once they don't pay the $54 annually, then they lose all benefits. The debt claim is $2 a month, $24 a year. I have been a part of this union for 33 years. And when you calculate my $2 times 12 times 33, I have paid $724. But the benefit is $3,000. So I get far more than what I invest into the fund. But once you stop paying, you lose that benefit. And those of you who have been to every convention, you will remember that this member, Nadia Callis, not as your president, as a member, have been rallying, putting forward resolutions for there to be what you call a payout. If the member decides to retire and not be a part of the organization, then there's a benefit that the member should be given. Each time that resolution has been struck down. So now, under my leadership as the president of this organization, and those who attended the branch meetings and the convention can attest to this, there is a proposal that has been voted on for an increase in dues, and attached to that is an increase in debt benefit and a 3 to 5 year benefit package attached to you after retirement. And so you don't need to come forward and make that monthly contribution because of situations like these.
Callis says the BNTU is rolling out a new database to track member dues and flag retirees who fall behind. But she says the union's rules are clear. Debt benefits cannot be paid if a member is not up to date with contributions. After the break, Belize's story is getting stamped for the world to see. 11 new designs, 1 national showcase, and a celebration of the people and places that define us.
Belize uses electricity is changing. At home, families are using more devices, smarter appliances, and connected technology. Across the country, businesses are growing, industries are expanding, and communities are finding new ways to live, work, and move forward. Behind that progress, the energy system must continue to grow with Belize. At BL, modernizing the grid is part of preparing for what comes next. A grid with greater visibility, more accurate information, and better tools to manage energy as needs change. Through investment in digital systems, upgraded infrastructure, and improved monitoring, BL is strengthening how electricity is managed and delivered across the country. Not just for today's needs, but for the future Belize is building. As new technology emerges, from solar generation to community energy systems, the grid must be ready to support them safely, reliably, and sustainably. This is the work of modernization, step by step, system by system, community by community, helping prepare Belize for a more connected, resilient, and sustainable energy future.
Introducing BB Insurance, built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
The next station is not just a place. It's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Every dollar you save today is a seed for tomorrow. Let your dreams take root and grow. Belize Bank, your future, our commitment.
Stay connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
Did you know with Home Protector Insurance, home and property insurance does not only cover hurricane and fire? Your lifetime investment will also be protected from explosions, water damage, malicious damage, and more. So you can rest easy knowing your home is protected. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Is one auto parts company getting the inside track at the Ministry of Transport? That question was put directly to CEO Chester Williams today after concerns surfaced over the ministry's use of special effects performance auto parts. Williams flatly denied that the company is a preferred supplier, saying the ministry shops around and chooses the cheapest option. He says special effects may offer lower prices on some parts, but the ministry also does business with other auto parts suppliers.
My instructions to my people is that when they're going to get parts, they're going to get invoices from 3 different locations. They would normally get from Westrup, they get from Special Effects, and sometimes they get from Caribbean Motors. I will look at the one that is more cheaper, and I will direct that they get it from the cheaper one. So if we're getting parts from Special Effects, it simply means that it's because the parts there is cheaper, and sometimes the parts is the same. So my interest is to make sure I save the government funds and do not spend it unreasonably for things that we can get cheaper at other locations.
So it wouldn't be that all the parts are coming from one, just this specific time?
That's not true. We have also procured parts from Westrup. We have also gotten parts from Belize Diesel, Caribbean Motors. We have also got from Belize Estate. So it's not true to say that we only get from Special Effects. That's not true, no.
Williams maintains that multiple auto parts companies get a fair chance to supply the ministry. Belize is sending its story around the world one stamp at a time. The Belize Postal Service today launched its 2026 Belize Definitive Stamp issue under the theme Celebrating Belize, featuring 11 stamps that capture the people, places, and moments that help define the nation. From sports and education to music, agriculture, religion, and national celebrations, the collection turns everyday postage into a showcase of Belizean identity. News 5's Brittany Gordon was at the launch and gives us a closer look.
It may be small enough to fit on an envelope, but a stamp can carry an entire country's story. Today, the Belize Postal Service launched its Belize Definitive Stamp Issue 2026, celebrating Belize, an 11-stamp collection showcasing culture, traditions, sports, festivities, and national pride that define Belize. The stamps will serve as the country's official postage for the next 5 years, while also acting as cultural ambassadors wherever mail travels around the world. Postmaster General Dr. Marcia Price says the collection has been more than a year in making.
We have a committee to come together with different ideas to see what it will feature this year. So that took some time. You know, everybody had their idea of what they would want to see featured in this stamp, and we just come up with different events that occurs within Belize, and I think it's something new, something different. So I like things that are different. So we wanted to do it different than previous years. So we wanted something grand for this 2026 definitive feature.
The story of Belize is being told one stamp at a time. This new collection highlights the country's culture, education, agriculture, sports, music, and national celebrations, capturing the color and spirit of Belizean life. Among those featured is reigning Queen of the Bay, Samantha Ramirez, whose image now forms part of the historic collection.
No amount of words can really truly express how I'm feeling right now. I'm truly feeling honored, and as mentioned in the ceremony, these stamps are just more than a piece of paper. These represent our culture, our national identity, and I really want to urge the young ladies. I mean, look what the pageant did for me. It opened brand new doors. This stamp is going to be all around the world.
Speaking at the launch, Logistics Minister Michelle Shabat said the stamps act as ambassadors of Belize, sharing the country's story and preserving moments of national pride for audience at home and abroad.
It gives you a sense of pride, I mean, from the Ruta Maya to the tapestry, to the kids. I mean, it really depicts life across Belize and how we interact and how we live. And as you can see them, the very bright colors really lightens up, and especially now where you need a bright light, I think this is a bright light.
Shabat says the stamps celebrate Belize's heritage, but the Postal Service is also going digital with mail tracking, faster delivery, and new service hubs to stay relevant in today's world. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
The viral video of two men cornering and handling a jaguar cub in Mountain Pine Ridge has sparked anger across Belize. Conservationists say the encounter put both the animal and the men at risk and may have violated wildlife protection laws. But as authorities consider possible charges, Sustainable Development Minister Orlando Habet is urging the public to see the incident as more than a call for punishment. He says it should become a national teaching moment about respecting wildlife and understanding the dangers of interfering with animals in their natural habitat.
Listen, I think that for all of us, and I know that you would agree with me, that education is key. It is paramount. Not only for the foreigners, for us as Belizeans. Yes, we have to be mindful that this was something that he shouldn't have done because we have legislation in place. Many times some people may not know, so we have to educate them. As mentioned by Dr. Paquet in the interview that you also did, was that she said, yes, it's a crime, and some of the people on Facebook were advocating that, listen, that cub will not find its mother, the mother will reject it. I'm an animal scientist, so I know about bonding, I know about imprinting, how far it and how early it happens, and some of it can happen, but doesn't really happen in general. But to say that we'll put out a notice to arrest this person if he reaches the airport or something like that, and to have sort of a manhunt, I think that's excessive. It goes beyond what we are supposed to do. But I think the information the education, certainly, and not only from ourselves. The zoo can help our partners, and I think I saw a post from the director of the zoo who also mentioned it and is assisting the people who are into wildlife conservation and management. I think they have also mentioned it, and so it is a collaborative effort amongst all of us. I strongly believe, and I have said it before, not every single thing needs strong policing, because then it turns back against you. Education, education, education.
Protecting Belize's forests is dangerous work, and a recent operation inside the Saboon Forest Reserve is showing just how risky it can be. A Forest Department officer was reportedly threatened after authorities uncovered an illegal logging operation deep within the reserve. Over 3 days, officers found freshly harvested lumber, a portable sawmill, and heavy machinery believed to be tied to the activity. One suspect was detained as Forest Department personnel and police from the Mobile Interdiction Unit moved in to secure evidence and assess the scale of the operation. Sustainable Development Minister Orlando Habet says the case is deeply troubling and points to the growing challenges officers face in defending Belize's protected areas.
I have gotten a verbal report from the forest officer, and accordingly she had already received a call and threats to her life. This has all been occasioned because we have stepped up since last year, October, on the compliance side of the Forest Department, where we are trying to see how we can curb and slow down and hopefully eliminate the illegal logging activities. But also remember that we had also said that we put a moratorium on those early logging licenses, because those are the licenses that we found out were really depleting our forests. But the illegal logging is a major problem, but because we have been cracking down on it severely, and I think now the threats are starting to come into the department, because it has been the livelihood for some of these illegal loggers for many years, but there hasn't been a program where we have really targeted them and tried to stop it.
Is there anything being done to protect these forest officers more? Because, as you said, they are cracking down on these illegal activities.
Yes, certainly. I have had a conversation with the new minister of responsible for the police. I also mentioned it to the Prime Minister in the last cabinet meeting, and he called the minister along with me, and the former minister who was there with me, Minister Karim Musa, and we identified a unit which will be able to work along with the forest officers, and so they will have to form a group, sort of like a task force, to be able to plan it, because you can't maybe mention that you're going on this venture to seek out the illegal loggers on a certain day at a certain time, because you don't know if that information will go out, and so when you get there, there's nothing, or they have already moved out the logs because they have been advised before time.
Marco Tulio Garcia has been named in the report. Forestry officers backed by the Mobile Interdiction Unit visited his home in Armenia Village and seized several pieces of heavy-duty machinery linked to the illegal logging site. Garcia is no stranger to forestry offenses. In 2017, he was charged for illegally harvesting logwood. Coming up, Argentina versus Spain, and Belizeans are already choosing sides. From jerseys to watch parties, World Cup fever is taking over.
Biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Let's all be safe during the rainy season. Belize Electricity Limited reminds you that heavy rains can cause flooding in your neighborhood and on roads. Avoid driving or walking in flooded areas, which can have hidden dangers such as debris and fallen power lines. Belize Electricity Limited cares about your safety. Please stay safe.
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
Climate change is not just an environmental issue. For Belize's children, it can mean flooded classrooms, hotter school days, and communities struggling through longer droughts. Now, with support from UNICEF, Belize is taking a closer look at how climate change affects its youngest and most vulnerable citizens. The goal is to make sure future climate policies do more than protect the environment. They must also protect the children most at risk. Shane Williams reports.
In May, we saw schools across the country coming up with creative ways to beat the heat, as soaring temperatures created significant challenges for students inside the classrooms. Now, Belize is putting children at the center of its climate response. Through a partnership between the Sustainable Development Unit and UNICEF, the country is developing a climate landscape analysis to examine how climate change affects children, persons with disabilities, pregnant and lactating women, and indigenous communities, with the goal of shaping policies that respond to their specific needs.
You find that children in communities that are vulnerable or the poorest communities will have greater impact. So the idea is to kind of work out where are children impacted most and why. and therefore it allows for national policies, and not just climate policies, but poverty policies relating to poverty or social protection, for example, focusing on these groups and trying to understand what their vulnerabilities are and ensuring that in developmental spaces, those groups are addressed first.
UNICEF says understanding those experiences requires listening directly to the children living them.
You actually need to speak to young people and to children. Even school-going children can give you much more information about what are their challenges with climate and how they're facing it. It's very real now. It's in the face of everyone. Not only in Belize, all over the world, you can see the effects. So I think children, when you talk to children, whether it's the heating of schools and how they are in their schools, or when there are hurricanes, floods and droughts, how it disrupts their life. So it's very important to hear from them directly too.
Minister of Climate Change Orlando Habet says the research highlights impacts that often go unnoticed when policies are being developed.
It's addressing climate change, it's addressing how people live in their communities, how children are affected. Children especially, which are the focus of this project, many times we don't see how it affects them directly, but the flooding, the climate, most of our schools probably looking at it from our standpoint now, because the intensity of the heat and everything else possibly affects them more than when we went to school. In the rural communities it is maybe even worse, because children might even have to get to school walking through mud to get to school, or they get all sweaty, wet, and so it is really affecting them.
The government also expects the study to strengthen Belize's case for international climate financing to implement child-focused adaptation measures. UNICEF representative Sajid Ali says Belize is already demonstrating a strong commitment to preparing for the future.
If you go through it, you'll see that it's not only highlighting issues, but it has very key recommendations in there. And Belize is a bit, I would say, ahead of other countries, because a lot of the policies relating to climate are quite new. And I think the appetite of the government and also of the communities and people to deal with the issues or to mitigate them or to be prepared for it is much higher than most countries.
The climate landscape analysis is expected to provide a roadmap for making climate action more inclusive by ensuring that children and other vulnerable groups are no longer an afterthought, but a priority in Belize's response to a changing climate. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Belizeans may not have a team in the World Cup final, but that is not stopping fans from choosing sides like everything is on the line. This weekend, Argentina and Spain meet in a blockbuster showdown. And across the country, supporters are preparing for the big game with flags, jerseys, and watch parties. News 5's Paul Lopez went out to ask fans where they will be watching and which team they think will walk away as champions.
One of the biggest football match in the world goes down this weekend when Argentina faces Spain for the World Cup 2026 final. Where are you going to be watching and who will you be supporting? We went out today to find out where people are watching, who's hosting the watch parties, and our first stop, believe it or not, is actually at a church. Life Church.
My sons are out into football, right? They from last World Cup to now, they've been all crazy about football. They're playing clubs here in the city. And so I was coming closer. We said, hey, we're all about family in the church, right? And if you're going to watch at home alone, why not come together in the church and let's have a family party, watch together and enjoy the competition. We all like competition, right? We have the ball, the replica ball of the world matches that they had, the games. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a chart of 90 minutes. 90 squares, and then each square is a minute. So before the game starts, you're gonna pay a $5 fee per square, and you can put you can put your name and the minute that you believe is gonna be the first goal. And then at the end, whoever's name is in the first goal, if it's more than one person, we're gonna do a spin wheel to win. McDonald's World Cups, and we have the different names on there, different players. This one is Lamine Yamal. So we have 6 of those, which we're going to have like an auction where you can say how much you want to pay.
And if you're leaning more towards visiting a lounge, a bar, or a restaurant to enjoy their watch party event, then you may consider a venue like Social Lounge.
First of all, we bring the technology, right? So we're newest on the spot, but if you look around, I'm running out of TVs and all. So we're quite loaded. At full capacity, everyone has a view from every angle. So 1 o'clock on Sunday, for the World Cup final, people can expect to come here and have great food, great company. I have on the jacket right now because it gets quite cool in here. So it's going to be an event. This is going to be one for the history books. I don't know if you've heard of the Yamal and Messi connection. So either way, it's a win. It's a win for football fans. Yes. And that's what we're looking forward to.
So we've gone from the church to Social Lounge, and now we're out in the streets to find out where people are going to be watching this weekend's World Cup finals and who exactly are they supporting. What are you to watch the World Cup finals this weekend?
That's my house.
That's your house?
Yeah.
Okay, so what a situation will look like? What you got set up?
I must have about 2 drinks and watch it.
No, who you will support out of Argentina and Spain?
Argentina, of course.
Why?
Because Messi. The greatest.
We're going to go to a place where you could cheer and have fun, and we're voting for Argentina all the way.
Why are you to watch it?
Home.
You watch it home, right? So who you to support out of Argentina and Spain?
Messi.
Messi. Why you to support Messi?
Because Messi is good.
Spain.
Why do you support Spain when a lot of people support Argentina and Messi when they say that they good?
Because Argentina the thief. Messi the thief in general.
Because they're the thief. They're the thief, Lamin Palma also.
Go Spain!
Yay! Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, Stuart Leslie named in widening defense procurement scandal. Dale Pelayo commented, "What do the Belizean people expect? He would say yes, he is involved. Would he say yes, he's involved in the corruption? As well, the BDF is the milking cow of this PUP government." Turning to John Gamboa's recommendation sparks nepotism claims. Erlyn Timbrell shared, "Look at my nephew's education and his work ethic along with his trainings and show how he got preference. He should be higher than that if you ask me. Why is this even news? Then again, name me one father who would not want to see his son excel. One of the hardest working policemen that I know who is dedicated to his job is Gambis." And finally on, BNTU explains policy after family questions denied benefits. Gigi Micah Frankies shared, "It was the same with my mom. Just 1 month she didn't pay before she died and she got nothing. But yet they would use her name when they talk about one of the many teachers who stood firm for BNTU." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.